Here's what I want you to do. Take a breath, relax yourself, go look in the mirror and finally say out loud that secret you've been keeping for all these years. Feels pretty good, right? You're free! Well, unless it's something really heinous or illegal, and if it is, please do go turn yourself into the authorities. Secrets like this are abound throughout life, however, and man, does WWE have a fair few of them too. I mean, we all know about them today because nobody can keep their mouth shut, and that includes me, which is why I'm here to tell you even more of them. What a winner I truly am. I am Simon from What Culture. This is 10 shocking secrets WWE don't want you to know. Number 10, they love a fictitious tournament. The beautiful thing about pro wrestling is that in terms of its structure, it's not real. If WWE wants to tell us that Kane is horribly burned and the brother of The Undertaker, then damn it, that's the case. Doesn't matter in reality, it's all hooey. The creative strings can run wild. That's why it's actually quite sad when WWE does stick to boring stories such as Pat Patterson and Buddy Rogers won the IC title and world title at make-believe tournaments in Brazil. What? That's it? Tell us Patterson beat a duck or something. Make it weird and interesting. The company does do this a lot, however, so next time you hear about a tournament that wasn't on TV, maybe go and research it first. Number 9, Ric Flair isn't a 16 times world champion. Straight to the point, Ric Flair has won way more than 16 world championships throughout his career. Way more. Even if you tally up the most common ones, it gets to around 19, and that continues to increase the more you look into it. It's probably more like 24. The story WWE likes, of course, is that it is 16, which works well at the moment because it does tie into the whole story with John Cena, who as of right now is on par with Flair in that sense. In reality, it doesn't matter. The legacy Flair has left will never be rocked or shifted, but if you want to get honest about this, that's the truth. Right there, in your face, Flair won more gold. Number 8, their ratings are on the slide. Much as Stephanie McMahon herself said, yes, the most recent WWE financial results are the best quarter in company history. There's a lot of different factors that go into that, but when you get into the nitty gritty, WWE smashed it these last few months, and good for them. Regardless what you think of the product, success is always nice. With that said, it's also true that ratings are going down at the moment, or at least at a low point in general, the third hour of Raw in particular being a sticking point. Some of the audience drop-offs are crazy. There's obviously more that goes into this, such as the ever-changing nature of TV and that ratings aren't the metric they once were. But it's still an issue, despite revenue and other happy times, and yet WWE are keen to avoid talking about it. Which makes sense, of course. You don't wave a flag and then burn it to the ground. That's why I'm here, running my mouth for them, doing all that burning. Number 7, the WWE Universe don't have a mind of their own. We as fans all have opinions and favourites. Much like any walk of life, that's just how this shiz works. WWE seems to agree with that theory, until they don't, and just pipe in chants to create the atmosphere they hoped for, as to opposed to the one that they got. Okay. Now, loads of people do this, so we can't just narrow it down to WWE. But we're talking about wrestling here, and it sucks. If you're actively telling us our voices will be heard, and then taking those voices and giving them new voices, that's just a whole barrel of nonsense. This has happened a lot with Roman Reigns, of course, and sometimes it really can be to the detriment of the show because it feels fake, and that's because it is fake. Some people have even said when Daniel Bryan used to come out to his monster reactions, WWE would turn it down. Now, I don't know if that's true, and I doubt it. You do something once. Number 6, those heads did turn. During the Monday Night Wars, 2 of the toughest soldiers were The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. They were Team WWF through and through and weren't interested in WCW at all. It was Vince's way or no way, and that was that. Or at least that's the narrative WWE likes to say today. In reality, both of them were reportedly tempted into jumping ship, especially Shawn. There's a ton of rumours that he would even shout backstage that he was off down south to join his friends. If that isn't an inclination of being interested, I don't know what is. It's a little more dubious with The Undertaker, simply as everything is with the dead man. He's quieter than a mouse. But the suggestions do exist, and imagine that picture. What a world that would have been. Number 5, Wrestlers Court. I'm not here to cast any judgment over anything, but the fact Wrestlers Court is dead in 2017, well, I think that's good. Sounds horrible. What if it's not dead? Along with stories from back in the day of Edge and Christian getting taken to task with being too chummy with the writers, or Muhammad Hassan being punished with a $4,000 bar tab, that's just a horrible situation all around, and one of course WWE would want to distance themselves from. What happens exactly behind closed doors now in 2017, I don't know. But when you hear the likes of CM Punk, Justin Roberts or Mauro Ranallo, sometimes there's no smoke without fire. Number 4, Moolah's real story. Once again, I don't know what's true and what isn't. I'm just being the conduit for stories which are very prevalent in the world of wrestling. Just Google anything that I'm about to say, you'll see them all. So yeah, the fabulous Moolah, who we all love, be it from way back in the day if you're a bit older, or the Attitude Era if you're a bit younger, was one of the first female performers to make a splash in the male-dominated world of pro wrestling. For example, Moolah carried the Women's Championship for more than 10,000 days at her peak. She smashed it. With that said, there are accusations that she exploited her wrestling apprentices at a premium rate, basically taking a cut of their earnings and ensuring if anyone didn't work with her in such a way they'd never get any bookings. I can see why WWE doesn't tout this because we don't know the true story, but it is a story that's out there, and if it were to be true, it's not the best. Number 3, the Warrior Award. Another in the I'm only the messenger dude category. A lot of people aren't a fan of the Warrior Award, an honor given to people that WWE decrees to embody the indomitable spirit of the Ultimate Warrior. Take former WWE announcer Justin Roberts. After the first inductee, the 8-year-old Conor McCulloch, was given the award 2 years ago, Roberts penned an article questioning whether the gesture was driven by sincerity and not strategy. On top of that are individuals who claim the Warrior shouldn't even be associated with such an award because of some very troubling statements he made when he was still alive. Dana Warrior, his wife, has gone on record saying he was a changed man before his death, but it's a situation that continues to rear its head and one that WWE would like to stay well out of. Number 2, the wellness policy. Jeez, my knees. We're getting controversial now, aren't we? Again, I am just the voice. Other people said this stuff, you make of it what you will. But yes, one Mr. Scott Steiner claims that when WWE grew suspicious of his body in 2002, he told them he would only be tested on the condition that Triple H was as well. According to him, the company suddenly decided it wasn't a good idea after all. Then of course there was Brock Lesnar's failed UFC drugs test last year, where WWE came out and admitted that part-timers such as The Beast are not subject to the same rules as everyone else. Now to be clear, I am not saying either Triple H or Brock Lesnar have been sidestepping the rules, but given all that information, it is fair to say that WWE's wellness policy is a little inconsistent on occasion. Let's move on. Number 1, the nonsense attendance figures. Once again, this is something that a lot of people do, but for years WWE has just mucked around with attendance figures to fit whatever narrative they'd like to tell. Take WrestleMania 32's mouth-watering figure of 101,763. That would be the highest attendance in company history, which betters both WrestleMania 3, which itself was pure fabrication, and Wembley SummerSlam 1992. Most of us had long learned to take these numbers with a pinch of salt, but just in case you haven't, get that shaker and start throwing that stuff around the place, because no attendance figure in the WWE is ever real, unless it's in one of their business reports, which often contradicts the announced one. Lovely.
The killer in you is the power in me. Pleased to meet you, so good to see. The killer in you will keep me alive. Back to back, self-sacrifice.
Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Aren't you a star? Don't forget to subscribe below, and also the people who made this video, they're right here, so go and follow them and give them some love. If you want to see more content, there's probably some stuff flowing up above my head. Why not check it out? It could be fun. I'm not your dad.